is almost midnight here in Salt Lake City. I just got out of the shower. I'm getting ready for bed and about to start my TENS unit for the night. And I'm just sitting here. I'm hoping that my video does not cut off. The storage on my phone is like really pissing me off because I keep deleting stuff and it keeps saying that I don't have enough storage, whatever. But I'm just sitting here and I'm just reflecting on how good God is, reflecting on this past week and a half that I've experienced here in Salt Lake City, and just wanted to talk about and share some things. If you've watched my previous videos, then you know that today was the day that we had to do our competency exams, and so we had to demonstrate um, certain safety things. And so one of those things was fighting a fire inside of the aircraft cabin. So I've mentioned it before, but if you know my story, you know that my father died in a house fire when I was very young. And so that's a trauma that I experienced, and that is something that I've carried with me. It's affected me my whole life. I didn't realize, I've realized how much it affected me because, I grew up without a father, and just that void and just different ways that it's affected me. But I didn't realize how much fear and how much power I had, I had actually given to that fire. So whenever they told us in advance, that that was one of the things that we were going to have to do, anxiety immediately set in for me. Fear immediately set in for me. And I was so afraid and so um, just paralyzed by fear that I almost went home. Like, I sat in this hotel room and I thought about it, and I was just like, I can't do this. Um, I already miss home anyway. I just can't do this because in my mind, I'm imagining the fire that my daddy had to face. I'm imagining a room filled with smoke and me having to navigate through that smoke and me having to get in there and fight that fire and make sure that I come out alive on the other side of that fire. So that's what I created in my head. And so I'm like really 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 like hyping myself up and like really allowing anxiety to take over. And I talk to my son every day, like either we FaceTime or we text. And so on that particular day, um, he happened to text at the right moment, and he's like, "Good morning, Mama." And so, I'm saying good morning, and I asked him how he was doing, and he's like, "I'm doing good." He was like, "But I really miss you a lot." Why did he say that? Because the tears started flowing, and I was just like, "You know what? I really miss you too." And I said, "I almost came home yesterday." So my son, if you know him, he's 17. Well, actually, in Oklahoma, he's 18 now. His birthday's June 5th, so he's turning 18 um, today, or wherever you're watching this from. He's turning 18 on June 5th. So he texts me and he says, "No, you can't quit. You have to commit." Now, he's been one of my biggest cheerleaders my entire life. Like, when I told him about accepting this position, he was all for it. He encouraged me. He told me, "You're still young. You still have a lot of life to live. And so this is something you've been wanting to do forever. So go for it." Like, he's really wise beyond his years. He speaks more than that of 17 years. I'll say that. So after he said that, I was like, "You're right, son. I love you. I'm going to continue. I'm going to do it." So I continued on. I let my classmates know that it was something that I was afraid of and why I was afraid of it. They all, like, jumped in immediately, and, what can we do to support you? What can we do? I had already made a therapy appointment because I have virtual therapy through BetterHelp.org. If you're looking for therapy, they do it without insurance. It's virtual, so you can do video visits, you can do phone visits, whatever. You can text with your counselor. So it's good and it's convenient. I'm able to still keep up with it even though I'm away from home. So I like it. So I had already scheduled an appointment with her. I'm trying to set my TENS unit. I had already scheduled an appointment with her. Thankfully, the appointment was actually set for the day before the test. So yesterday. So I let her know, I'm glad I set this appointment because I have this test coming up and I'm really anxious about it. I'm also in a gratitude group on the social media platform Clubhouse. And one of the members in there gave me some really good advice. He was just like, don't see the fire as something that, is scary for you, but see it as you overcoming that fire and you taking back everything that fire took from you. And so, I tried to see it that way and just encourage myself. And so today comes, I'm really, really nervous. I get there and I'm like almost shaking because in my head, this fire is huge and it's going to be something that I don't know how I'm going to get through it, but I'm going to get through it. So we go through all of our other competency checks, of course, because I'm like, why can't we just do this fire, get it over with, so then I'll be able to handle like the rest of my test. But we did everything else first. So of course, I was nervous for the rest of my test, and then it gets to the fire part, and they start explaining what we were going to do, and explaining like how to use the protective equipment that we were going to have to use, and so it's my turn to fight the fire. My classmates were like, are you good? Do you want to go first, or what do we need to do? So I actually went in second because I'm like, no, I'm just going to get it over with. So I walk in there. I put on the protective equipment because that was a part of the test to be able to demonstrate that we know how to put on the equipment. I walk over there to the fire. It's like a fireplace fire. It literally was like a fireplace fire. There was no smoke, anything. It was like a fireplace fire. We had 3 different fire extinguishers that we were going to have to demonstrate that we knew how to use. Um, they let you pick which one you wanted to use first. We had the water fire extinguisher, 2 halon fire extinguishers, one with the hose, one without. So I don't even remember which one I picked first, but I know I picked one, I put the fire out. And, long story short, it just really got me to thinking that so many times in life we allow our fears to paralyze us, and we allow our fears to stop us from moving forward with the path that God has set out for us. I do believe that this journey that I am on is a part of my path because of the way that it just divinely happened and the way that it divinely connected for me. Like, I originally turned down this job because I was going to have to miss my son's graduation. So, I mean, there was just a lot into it, and the way that things just aligned, and I was able to still be here in Salt Lake City. So I know that I'm on the right journey and that this is a part of my path. And so, I've just been reflecting on it the whole day, and like, so many times in our heads, we will create our perception of what this thing is and what this thing is going to be, and we make it a lot bigger than what it actually is. Like I said, in my head, this fire was huge. This fire was something that could potentially take my life. This fire was something that, there was going to be smoke, and I have asthma, so I'm like, shoot, am I going to be able to breathe during the fire? Like, what about this fire am I going to be able to conquer? Right before I went in, one of my classmates was like, make that fire your bitch. And so, yeah. But, like, in my head, I made this fire this huge thing, and then I got there to face it, and it wasn't even a fourth of what I thought that it was going to be. Now, imagine if I would have not faced it and just went home. If I would have just allowed the thought of that fire to intimidate me so much that I walked away from one of my dreams. And so I'm really thankful for my gratitude group. I'm thankful for my friends back home. I'm thankful for my classmates here. I'm thankful for my family because I sent we have a family group text, and so I sent everybody a text last night, and I was just like, keep me in your prayers because this is what I'm going to have to face tomorrow, and I'm scared. And so they all encouraged me. And so I'm thankful for everybody that I have in my life who uplifts me, who encourages me, who supports me on whatever journey I'm on at the moment. Because right now I'm just doing what makes me happy. I'm 40 years old and I am finally living unapologetically. I'm doing whatever makes me happy, living my dreams. I'm not chasing money. I'm chasing purpose and fulfillment and things that are going to make a difference for me and for the people in my life, and not just financially. So I'm just really thankful tonight. I'm thankful that I stayed. I'm thankful that I passed and I conquered it. I did it. And just realizing that a lot of times how we perceive our fears are a lot bigger than what life is actually going to give them to you as. And so that was a really big lesson for me. Like, I actually laughed at myself, after we left the hangar and after I got back here to the hotel. I laughed like, you were really going to walk away from your dream over a fireplace fire. I have a fireplace at home, but it was just the thought of fighting a fire, and the the thought of the fire that took my daddy away from me. And so I know how dangerous fire is. And so for me that was a huge fear, but it was a huge victory for me because I conquered something that was so big in my life. And now I see that it really wasn't as big as I made it. And I'm bigger. And God is bigger. And my purpose is bigger. And so I'm just really thankful and I'm really blessed tonight. And so if I can encourage you in any way, get your support system. Reach out to your support system. Face your fears. Do whatever you need to do. If that's therapy, if that's talking to people, if that's overcoming something, like actually putting in the work and doing something. But do what you need to do to move forward in life, because things are never as big as they seem, especially when it comes to fears and anxieties. Like, it's never as big as we think it is, and we are always bigger, and God is always bigger. And I'm just thankful because I would have walked away from something that I wanted to do all my life because of a moment that was this small. Like, it literally probably took me 5 minutes to use all 3 fire extinguishers and to fight that fire and to walk out of that room one step closer to my dreams of becoming a flight attendant. And I almost walked away from that. I almost let fear and anxiety take that away from me. And so I'm saying to you, don't do that. Do whatever you have to do to encourage yourself. Speak life into yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself enough to be willing and able to take whatever step you need to take to move forward. So yeah, like that's what I want to say tonight. And I'm just so happy. I know I'm crying, but I'm happy. Like, and I feel like in a small way, like, I feel like my daddy didn't lose his life for nothing. You know, it wasn't for nothing. It wasn't for nothing. And I know, like, I use my experiences to encourage other people and to uplift other people. I have a friend right now who's grieving. And because of what I went through and what I've gone through, I can encourage her and I can speak life into her. And so just do what you have to do. Be strong, be faithful. Be thankful and just do whatever you need to do to face your dreams, to face your fears, to conquer your fears, and to be who God has created you to be. So I'm gonna end this video. I'm thankful that it didn't stop recording, so I can say what I needed to say. I wasn't expecting to cry, but I don't care. I don't care. Like, life is about ups and downs, and I don't care if people see my downs. I don't. I I appreciate when people celebrate with me for my ups, and so I definitely appreciate support when I'm down or when I'm low. So if I could just say anything to you tonight, I know I've said a lot, but just be encouraged and just continue to move forward and do what you need to do in this life, because we only have one and it's short and you never know when it's going to end. So live your life, be happy, love, and just be you. Just be you.